Good evening. A community still mourning tonight and police looking for answers after a Southport police officer is shot and killed in the line of duty. New details just coming into the RTV6 newsroom tonight on the man in custody for the killing of Lieutenant Aaron Allen and when he will face charges. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez leading our team coverage tonight from the memorial to Lieutenant Allen outside the Southport Police Department. A lot of emotion still running tonight, Rafael.
A lot of emotion. This is a city in mourning, as you can see behind me. This is the growing and the living tribute in honor of Lieutenant Aaron Allen. As you can see, that young girl, we are seeing children and little boys and grandmas and grandpas, people of all ages, bringing flowers and teddy bears and leaving notes behind, not only for the family of Lieutenant Allen, but also for his family and his children. Amanda, let me just bring you up to date on the latest on the investigation as this tribute behind me continues to really show the love that this community had for this officer. I can tell you that the main suspect in this case, Jason Brown, is still in custody. We will not know about any criminal charges until Tuesday. I can also confirm right now that Lieutenant Allen was wearing a body camera yesterday. Now, what was videotaped was on that camera, we have no idea, but that's part of the ongoing investigation. We'll also learn tomorrow about funeral arrangements for the lieutenant. You know, the one picture that is really touching at the heartstrings, not only in this community of Southport, but far and wide, is this picture here posted on Facebook. This is a picture of Lieutenant Allen yesterday morning taking his son to school for the first day of kindergarten. The picture speaks volumes. In fact, I am told that Lieutenant Allen asked his chief if he could come in late to work to take his son to accompany his son for that first day of school. The chief said it was okay. In fact, the chief telling me that he was kidding with him throughout the day, saying, hey, you're late to work. But he was doing that because after all, Lieutenant Allen, first and foremost, he was a father first, then a husband, and then he was a public servant. That is Lieutenant Allen. This community of Southport, just south of Indianapolis, just 5 minutes from the downtown area or so, is hit hard by the emotions of this. And we begin now our live team coverage with Chance Walser, who's been talking to people in the neighborhoods about this. Chance?
Rafael, let me set the scene where I am. This is Wayne Township. The Allen family lives on a cul-de-sac, and it's hard to see during the day, but just trust me when I tell you, just about every house on this cul-de-sac has put up blue lights, blue porch lights to support the Allen family through this tragedy. As you mentioned, yesterday was Wayne Township's first day of school. That's when this poignant photo was captured. Again, it shows Lieutenant Allen walking his young son to his first day of kindergarten. You can see Allen in full uniform and his son with a big Batman backpack on, almost as big as him. Lieutenant Allen was gunned down just hours later. Neighbors refer to the fallen officer as a very attentive and loving father. That photo, they say, encapsulates the kind of man he was.
You know, that was little Aaron's first day of school, and that was a happy moment for him, and that's going to be a lasting memory for him.
Neighbors and co-workers describe Allen as a very generous husband, father, police officer. He was instrumental, the police chief says, in helping give Christmas to children in need. He was also instrumental in helping a little boy get a little police cruiser of his own. The young man, a big fan of the Southport Police Department. In fact, that young man learned yesterday, when the rest of us did, of Lieutenant Allen's death. We spoke with his family about his emotional reaction, and we'll bring you that at 6 o'clock. For now, we're live in Wayne Township. Chance Walser, RTV6.
Chance, thank you so much. Overall, he was a good guy, and people, as you can see behind me, continue just to pause to remember him. So let's talk about his service to this community, because he loved the South Side. He loved Franklin Township. He loved Perry Township. He served the Southport Police Department for the past 6 years. It's a place that he loved to serve. As you could see, this is his place where he protected and served people. As you saw yesterday, he ran to the aid of a car that was upside down, never thinking that the people inside would cause him harm. In 2015, he received Officer of the Year for saving a life. He's also worked with youth. He loved young children. He worked for 2 years at Franklin Central High School. That's Lieutenant Allen. Tonight, so many questions about the man, the person now who's being held in connection to his death. Jason Brown is in custody, not formally charged. We may know more about that on Tuesday, as I mentioned. But so many of you are asking us on social media, who is this guy? Our Julie Persley continues our team coverage as she went into the neighborhood to where his last known address we have, and she talked to the people inside, and this is what she found out.
Crime lab technicians and homicide investigators have been back at the scene throughout the day collecting evidence. As they search for answers, so too are people who call themselves longtime friends of the suspect, Jason Brown.
I've known Jason his whole life. He went to school with my kids. He lived at my house for several years.
Tracy Wagner says Brown is her son's best friend. She says he's a quiet man who is a tattoo artist and a father of a 3-year-old son.
He's shy, he's timid, he's just not, how would you say it? He's not the kind of person who goes out and creates trouble.
Wagner says her family was shocked to hear that Brown has been accused in connection with the killing of Southport police officer Lieutenant Aaron Allen.
Jason wouldn't hurt anybody, so we need to find the reason behind the scenes.
Brown's friends say he grew up on the east side of Indianapolis, but now lives on the south side, not far from the scene where Lieutenant Allen was gunned down.
My heart goes out to the police officer and his family. I'm sad for them. My heart breaks for them. I'd love to hug them and tell them that I'm sorry. And if there was something that we could do to fix it, we would. But we can't, and we just have to figure it out.
Investigators with IMPD and the prosecutor's office say that this case is moving quickly, but the investigation is far from over. From the south side, Julie Persley, RTV6.
Julie, thank you so much. Call 6 Investigates did do an extensive background check on Jason Brown. He's had some minor traffic infractions. Back in 2014, he did serve some time on a drug charge, a couple of days there in the county jail. I'll have much more on that developing story coming up on the news at 5:30. Behind me, though, is the tribute to the officer that is now being honored by so many in this community. People are coming from all over the city, all over the community to say thank you to this officer's service. Our coverage now continues with Derek Thomas and their stories.
One Southport resident told me that Lieutenant Allen was the kindest cop she ever knew. This memorial is testament to his impact. The police cruiser is covered and surrounded by the floral tribute. The contributions came from everywhere, including 8-year-old Cash Pearson. He brought Lieutenant Allen a medal for his bravery, and he wrote a letter that he read.
Lieutenant Allen, thank you for protecting us. I'm sorry for bad people. I'm happy for you to go to heaven.
You don't have to take any surveys to determine Allen's worthiness. Amy Matheny delivered flowers and gratitude.
This hits us like we've lost one of our own. I don't know, I may have met Officer Allen, I don't know, but I can tell you that I felt sick last night, like I've lost someone of our own. And I think that's how we feel about our police officers here who keep us safe, who make this a wonderful place,
Katie Hassler is a person I referenced earlier who called Allen the kindest cop she'd ever known. His chief called him a teddy bear. She brought a teddy bear, all 53 inches of one, to put at the memorial.
My heart is just broken into a million pieces, and my heart just goes out to these guys and all the men and women in blue who put their lives on the line every day to protect us.
The sign says, "God bless cops. We appreciate you," and thoughts and prayers. But with all the good feeling, there is an undercurrent of anger that this man, this good man, was taken prematurely.
Now isn't probably the time to talk about it, but I am for the death penalty. So whenever they pay the respects to this fine officer, then they need to address someone who could do something like that.
Something like that to the teddy bear. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Derek, thank you so much. His nickname was Teddy Bear. In fact, as Derek showed you, as we can see, as folks are making their way down to the memorial site, there are teddy bears all over that vehicle, as you saw in those pictures. A GoFundMe site has been set up for the family. As we've spoken already, the lieutenant was a family man. That was his #1 job. Of course, then a police officer, which he loved to do. And so this GoFundMe page is to help raise money for the officer, for his son, for his family. And of course, as you can see now from this live picture, the GoFundMe page in just a matter of a few hours has already raised $22,000 and counting, with more than 376 of you saying, I want to do something to help this family. And joining us live now is the Chief of Police for this department, Thomas Vaughn. Sir, first of all, our condolences are your loss, Chief. And I know what is weighing on your heart heavily right now is the memory of your officer and his family.
Yeah, we met with his wife today, and she seems to be strong, and she's trying to absorb everything that's going on. And we have our officers that we're also keeping an eye on, to see how they're doing, with this being the first loss of a Southport police officer.
Chief, so many people, as you know, want to find a way to say something to you. I have seen people already today say to you, they want to shake your hand, they want to buy you lunch, they want to... What can people do that will be of benefit in the long term?
Yeah, and our biggest push right now is for the family. Like you mentioned, the GoFundMe page. I know FOP 86 is also taking donations. Anything that we can do to help her, pay bills and be able to get her ground, get her foot going again, and kind of move on, is what we're trying to do. The people have been great. We have so much food that we were actually able to take some down to 911 Communications in Southeast District. They're all partners in this. They've helped us the whole, since this incident happened.
Chief Vaughn, thank you so much. Again, our condolences to you and the entire Southport police family. We thank you for your service to the community and what you do every day. So thank you so much. Of course, we will bring you more live coverage from the scene. Again, investigation is underway. We could not ask the chief about the investigation because it is ongoing, and hopefully we'll have more information about that on Tuesday when the Marion County Prosecutor's Office will release more about how they plan to proceed on the criminal charges. We are live in Southport on the other south side of Marion County. Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Thank you, Rafael. A very difficult story, and our thoughts are with the Allen family tonight. RTV6 working for you, digging into crime trends in the Southport area. We found that from the first of year to today, there were only 23 reports of crimes involving a target. Most of those were for battery, but there were a couple of each of intimidation, resisting law enforcement, and strangulation. Only one report of pointing a firearm. There are also relatively few violent incidents in a 1-mile radius from Southport. The most common crime, break-ins. While there have been no homicides in Southport, there have been 3 just west so far this year. And stay connected with RTV6 as we continue to learn more about the tragic death of Lieutenant Aaron Allen. We'll bring you the latest updates on air as they come in. You can also use the RTV6 app and head to theindychannel.com.